live stream without any preparation or PowerPoint presentations.
Yeah. I mean, well, Amanda and I had a little conversation yesterday, but I'm pretty sure it's just going to be directed by her questions and inquiry, basically.
Well, I'm put on the spot.
Sorry, man. I didn't mean to do it like that, but like, I mean, I feel Witch Doctor in a little bit. There's animosity pushed towards you because of chosen friends and chosen people you'd like to talk to and interact with.
Yo, this is a great topic because it's the one thing that's not being talked about. But yeah, I've heard the same things.
What do you mean you've heard the same thing?
I have heard that there are a slew of people a little while ago. I've been out of the news for a minute, but not too long ago, I put a video up after a Reddit page for Babylon shared a video and my page exploded overnight. Awesome. Let's do it, right? So I go and make another thing, put it on the same Reddit page. I don't use Reddit. I got it all set up and everything, all to just contribute. And somebody didn't like my videos, the way that I talk.
Yeah, the comedic tone. They didn't like the comedic tone of it.
They don't like even a little bit of the whole me making like Gnostic lesbian jokes and very stand-up comedy routine type shit from my era. These would all be very appropriate and funny jokes. Just like how Dave Chappelle, he's not going to feel bad about a joke that he makes that's completely made up. Like when he does the trans jokes and then at the end of the joke, he makes a joke about wanting to hook up with her later because nobody's going to know. Like it's just the funniest shit because it's just the way he's done it, and I'm the same, I feel the same sort of.
It's just comedy doesn't mean it's your core ideology. It's being able to poke fun at the things you believe in because there's silliness in everything.
I'm calling married women Gnostic lesbians because they had a crusade against Babylon Channel. Well, so somebody says something like to the effect of, the way that you say certain things in your videos makes me not like you want to watch the content, but like keep making videos or something. I don't know how it was worded. I would have to relook at it. And it was not that much of a jab at me, but I jabbed back and I said, I'm not going to feel any kind of way about clearly a joke calling Ali Rowan and Jevim Gnostic QAnon like 6 months ago. Yeah. Just in a satire type newsreel presentation. I don't know, you're playing around with whatever. And like, I thought Allie was married with kids. Of course, it's just a joke. And she said she thought it was funny.
Allie thought it was funny. Yeah, man. She liked the humor, right?
It's kind of, I tried to kind of look, my stepmom's British and a lot of that same humor was even part of the joke to a degree. Monty Python and the prophylactics, just the different ways that I'll word stuff, or you'll hear that little British accent come out, the fake one, just to be funny or something. And so somebody didn't like it, but they had to say something. So I was like, okay, I'll return fire just because you seem like someone that wants attention. And, I didn't say that, but in my brain, I was like, oh, you just want attention or whatever. But like, I was a smart ass. And so now, apparently after that, Marcel, you told me about so many people coming after you for being friends with me and being on the show and standing up for your own beliefs too, by the way. Sometimes we don't even agree on the same thing. And it was like, what? This is just like a research channel. Like we're not supposed to, it's not like, it's kind of neutral, but like what's wrong with being friends with the person? And then I go and have Gnostic Informant on the show. And it's like, all of a sudden I'm being led down a back alley. My face is having makeup, put on it in freaking Babylon stuff. And it's like, whoa. I'm new to this. Like, what the hell's the problem? Like, I look up to this dude. It's one of the reasons I even found him, was like a channel like his led me to like a Danny Jones type channel, which led me to like Amon's channel. So it was like, what the fuck? Why you putting makeup on me, dude? What's up with the propaganda? What's up with the slandering or the whatever you want to call that? I don't know what you call that. Graffiti or whatever. And, you know, maybe he's just being fun too, because, you know, people have their own ways of being fun or funny and stuff. Like, I have a different sense of humor than some people, and so do other people, you know. And I really still like the guy. I love Amon's work. I'm reading his freaking book on my show and showing you how it could be possible. So it's just kind of weird that all of his fans have now, you know, torches. It's like,
anyone who shows any form of dissent, right? Which is crazy. That leaves zero room for nuanced opinion. Like, just because you don't agree with one thing in an ideology doesn't mean you disagree with the whole ideology. You shouldn't have to jump into something all or nothing to support it. That makes no sense. The world isn't a fucking dichotomous playground, man.
Yo, I just got my timeline poster from crossbible.com.
Oh, shit.
Somebody like Steve is, you know, willing to be friends with guys like myself. You know what I mean?
What do you mean, someone like Steve?
Well, he's a conventional, not a conventional. He's a Christian. He's a divine believing Christian.
He's a Christian. He still talks shit. He's vulgar.
I don't know if he talks it about me, but
well, no, not you, but still. So I mean, he's no better than anyone else who doesn't label themselves just because he, you know, is doing stuff with the Bible on that website. I've seen him speak very ugly. All these fucking YouTuber creators, they like to pick.
I haven't even heard that. I haven't heard, I guess, the stuff, but you know.
Well, yeah, whenever him and Myth Vision were all, you know, it's like, I don't know. It's on one hand, people are here to teach and learn, and on the other hand, it's just like a fucking playground with a bunch of goddamn children with no, you know, rules, no, you know what I mean, no caretaker that's minding them.
Yeah.
People really care.
Lunchroom mentality, like, get out of my lunch table and go sit at the one over there, right? You're not welcome at my lunch table.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I don't know. It's
I mean, not to say that I haven't rubbed people the wrong way on purpose in the past.
Cross Bible was on our show. Was on the show. I can't really. I guess I can call it ours, but Cross Bible was on a few weeks ago and did retract a lot of what he said.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
like he's there, right?
I haven't been paying enough attention. Clearly, if I missed all that, because maybe because I have so much going on. I got a baby on the way. I haven't been watching everyone's stuff.
Yeah, I mean, me too. And that's the thing. People get on my ass because I don't know what you guys are doing and have done on other people's fucking channels, and then I'm associated with it, and it's weird. It's weird. It's annoying, you know. And then, but at the same time, because we all, you know, really know each other virtually, you know, I can't speak for Marcel or anybody else either, you know.
Right.
So that's why whenever I do hear stuff, you know, and then I'm like, okay, well, especially because, you know, my stuff of the Blunt Life is not related directly to how we all came to become acquainted with each other.
Yeah.
You know, trying to learn about these texts and stuff. So, yeah, it's really kind of like throwing me off because, you know, it's funny is I would have said in the past that Dave Chappelle was one of my favorite comedians until he shot down that housing stuff. So I know for me, you know, I can, I guess because I'm used to vulgarity, you know, and to me, words are not the most vulgar. Action is the most vulgar. Like whenever somebody says, oh, that's a bad word or whatever, it's like, no, words are not good or bad. There can be some rude ones, you know, whatever. But I'm not going to be more offended by words than actual things that are happening. You know what I mean? Like there's like a weird offset where people want to focus on words to distract from action. You know what I mean? Like you, like Witch Doctor, you're literally researching a book and putting that shit together. You have a real life that you live outside of this fucking shit here. That's why you can't keep up with everybody's drama. Same with me. You know what I mean?
I almost stopped even doing it just because of the lack of time, but I stayed in it because of everyone that was asking, like, yo, what's up? Like, you know, like,
we had a saying when we were children: sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. I've been saying it since I was 5.
No, fuck that. I'm soft. I'm just playing.
Well, you know, it does hurt me. It hurts me because of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help create and support community.
Yeah.
And everywhere there is division over this and that and the other. And when it's over ideology, like stuff that we can't, it's stupid. Like, okay.
Yeah, people have been really nasty in my comments, and you sit there and you think like, man, they're getting under my skin and shit. And it's like, is it even really worth it? And that's why a couple months ago, I took a break from it because I was like, I'm thinking about it way too much. You know, my wife doesn't complain about it or anything like that, but I'm sure it's annoying as shit for me to like be in here or whatever the hell, you know, and when she's pregnant and doing stuff, you know, it's just, you know, but I, you know, have maintained the whole, you know what, it's not that bad. I'm not on Instagram the way that I used to be on social media. You know, I had a whole nother world where everything that I was putting up could be very controversial also, but it was different. It was like I was half naked all the time, you know, because you know, you're doing the mirror, all the bro shit you see everyone do that does that stuff on Instagram. And I had to get away from that because there's criticism. You know, bodybuilding was one of those things where if there was something wrong with your body and somebody critiques you and you're not, you know, it took me a second to get used to like the constructive criticism. And I always had to tell myself something along the lines of, okay, wait a minute. Let me think about this like I'm an athlete, and you have coaches and people tell you stuff because they don't want you to fuck up. And so the harder the coach, the more stern and strict the coach was, the better I would sometimes perform. But then sometimes the other way, you know, there was benefit to that and less stress or something like that. But the criticism was always something that like it could really get underneath people's skin. I felt sort of the same thing in this religious realm, doing different stuff. It's the people are on a certain part of their path, right? They got the journey or whatever they're doing. And let's say everybody's life has, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, but it's happening at different times. Some people go through some certain things when they're like in their 20s, but other people, they don't experience the same things to their 40s. And so everybody's so different, and they get behind the keyboard. And man, I have never seen such brave people sometimes. Just the way they come at, you know, it can really wear you down. But I think over time, it kind of, you start to ignore it because it's just nothing. They're going to go somewhere and shit, no matter where it is. So if you quit on something you're really trying to, you know, this YouTube channel, I'm not really trying to grow it, but I'm also not trying to do this for nothing, like for no reason, and to not reach more people. So I kind of fight with that. Hence the whole new thumbnails for every live stream. I try to make it look nicer and changing profile pictures and improving it or whatever. It just, it can be really disheartening sometimes when you're putting all this work into stuff and someone's just like shitting all over you. And it's like, it's the world.
It says more about the people just shitting all over it than.
Okay, but at the same time, I think part of it is because people don't know each other well enough. We don't even know each other well enough, you know, like
exactly.
You know, people will say, "Oh, you're friends with the witch doctor," and I say, "I barely know the witch doctor." Like I liked coming, you know, and gathering when you would do stuff because to me it was more neutral and a lot of different people gathered together, and it was a focus on what you were researching, and that's what I liked. You know what I mean? And that's
right.
A meeting of the minds. That's what I am here for. And you know, I think that because, you know, what I was exposed to growing up, and I was a young military wife, I think that I'm just not as sensitive to some of the humor. You know, it's like a clash of the humors. And, you know, like you say, you know, that you were calling these women this and that they like, you know, they laughed at her or whatever. But then also it's like, I don't know, everybody's in their weird stuff too, you know, like these, you know, I did not know. See, I recently realized the extent of accusations that were made by, like, I don't want to drudge up things again, but like the occult examiner, like I didn't realize that there was direct accusations made toward, like, okay, so it's just the whole okay, well, let me just off track a little bit here and say that you guys know I was working for that audiobook production company.
Yep.
You know, I had been working for them since September. And you know, a couple months ago I had to take off a couple months because my my domestic partner, his brother was realized to have leukemia, and then he went on hospice. And so I was helping with that for a couple months, and then I went back to work with the audiobook company, you know, and I got into it with the man because the man, like I had said a long time ago, you know, they're trying to raise funds for investors. They're trying to grow their company. And I've been doing everything that I can to help because I had multiple levels of experience that linked to that. You know what I mean? So I've been doing that and trying to get them their investors. And I had to take off this 2 months. And I came back and like everything was crazy. Nothing had been done. And then this man, I felt like he just kept messing up things. Like he's so it was him and his ex-wife that started it, and then they got divorced, and then I came on like almost a year later, and it was like all a mess, and I didn't realize all the roots of it. And the root was that man is incompetent and immoral. You know, he's a horrible business. I didn't know until I knew. So I came back and trying to get on top of everything. He made me vice president without asking me because, you know, he would tell everybody when we'd have meetings with the clients and this and that, you know, if not for the grace of God and Amanda, this company would already be over, you know, type thing. And he messed up on something and I went off on him and he got so upset with me. And he said something about like there being a hierarchy or, you know, and I was like, you are not my superior. I'm literally helping you. You're lucky that I'm still helping you here, you know, with this company. And then I tell him, this is exactly why you cannot be the managing partner and president of this company because you don't have the skills. You're not able to be. So then this man decides to fire me. Okay. And he owes me over $25,000. Okay, for over the fucking 9 months. Okay, and then he just decides, and here I am knowing how integral I am to help them get this stuff in so everyone else can be paid. Because I'm not the only one he fucking owes money to. You know what I mean? So then he sends out an email to everybody about how I'm no longer working for them and everything. And he tries to, but I was the one tracking all of our stuff. I'm the one that took in all the invoices and was tracking who he owed the money to in a Google sheet and everything. And so when I saw that he like, because the sheets that I had tracking everybody's owed money, I created them in my own account and I made it so that everyone was only a viewer because I wanted to make sure that none of it could be manipulated, that no numbers could be fudged, right? Because right. I've done this before. I've been an administrative assistant. I've done all kinds of things. That's how I knew I could help them with all of this bullshit. Okay. So then when he decides to fire me and lock me out of everything, I'm like, okay, these are real numbers. This is real debt that he he is not on top. He would say all the time, oh, I have digital dementia. And I would say he really only would remember at most like 50% of everything that we have discussed. That's business, that's projects, that's everything. He's incompetent, incapable, you know, and it was all around. I told him so many times, I am not here to enable you. I'm not here for you. I'm here for everybody that is involved here. All the voice actors, all the editors, the clients that want their projects done, you know? Like I was really inspired by what they were doing and I was putting my all into it. And so he, you know, sends out an email to everybody that I'm fired. And then because I could not in good conscience, knowing that people kept working for this man because of me, because I was working so hard and because they trusted in what I was doing. So many of them thanked me for my work, this, that, and the other. And then so I sent an email to everybody and I said, I cannot in good conscience not let you know the extent of the debt that this man owes to people, because I brought in our first investor. And then that's when we were delegating that money from that first investment, that's when I realized the full extent of in the hole this man had the company. You know what I mean? And he had kept dismissing it like, oh, because he had several people leave the company. He had a COO that left, you know, for lack of payment and this and that. And then he would wave it off. And finally I had told him like, well, what dollar amount would you be worried at? And he said, oh, if it was over 25,000. And in my mind, I knew that shit was coming for me, right? Because he said it was a different level of court, right? And so after like my patience had just left with him, and that's why I went off on him that one day. And then he got so mad at me, you know, because I didn't support him anymore as like the managing partner or whatever. So I let people know I can't in good conscience not let you know what is happening here, that he has had other businesses that failed, that past clients are coming to him saying, you didn't do my stuff and I want payback. I want my money back. And he just blows it all off. You know what I mean? And then this man turns around and emails everybody that I was fired for sending unsolicited sexual pictures to a voice actor. He knew my goals. My goals politically. This man was supposedly my brother in Christ. He was all big about that. Oh, man. You're a believer. Oh, you're a believer to clients, this and that. Oh, you're a fellow believer. You know, this fucking man, because he is incompetent, embarrassed at his own inadequacies, would choose to slander me, knowing my life goals are more important than fucking audiobooks. I am trying to reform the fucking government. You're gonna slander me over some bullshit? So that to me, when I hear that there was claims from the occult examiner of being sexually whatever, to me, I know how horrible it is to have false allegations. And not only that, like a big thing, I don't talk about it or anything really, but my supposed birth father, because my mom had me when she was 15. And then my grandma raised me, and then she passed away, and then I had to be with my mom. I ran away from her over and over again. And then my great grandma gave me the information to my supposed dad, you know, birth father. And then so I called him from school and he arranged to pick me up. So essentially I was kidnapped, even though I like asked for it, right? I was in Texas. He was a soldier in Hawaii. He planned and came and picked me up one day, took me to Hawaii. So that's how I became separate from my mom. And then less than a year later, this man was arrested by the FBI because of being a child predator. And they had been tracking him. His name literally is Jesus. Jesus Norberto Evans Martinez. Jesus. His name is. Okay. This fucking child molester, this fucking pedophile. So for me, like, all wraps up with this whole, stuff with the purple Christ stuff, and the whole claim of Jesus being a fucking pedophile and all that. All of that could be really triggering to me. You know what I mean? But I know the truth behind it. And it's just like more of like, okay, well, this is why you have to learn the truth behind names, behind history, all of that, right? So I have real experience in true abuse and false. Do you know what I mean? So to
Right.
me, there is a real heavy line then. So if you are like in good standing and being real cool with someone who is a fucking liar, you know what I mean? That is not cool. That is not cool to be friends with someone that is nefarious and
I used to
fucking
have
vile.
a
Okay?
lot of liar friends. It made me an asshole. It made me a fucking liar. Straight up.
Yeah,
Made
yeah.
me lie, cheat, and ruin people's lives.
Yeah, man. She like, show me your 5 best friends, and you'll become or if hang out with 5 idiots and you become the 6th, right?
Right. Or, never meet your heroes, sort of here. Because it's like these people that you think are just
1 second, I'll be right back.
not what they, I've had some guys like I've worked for that were really good deep down, but the way that guys that do business and big money are, they're different species than me. I have a hard time being friends, even if they got good hearts, with guys that screw people over, kind of like that Fire Festival kind of guy, where all these people are believing in your vision and someone drops the ball. And that's really hard for me to deal with, kind of like with the VRE last semester. I shouldn't even say anything negative, but I felt like maybe the school and the VRE dropped the ball, and they have in their little signatures, serving your veterans and and they're all gung ho, but then like they've quiet quitted. Luckily, my new girl just submitted my forms for all of that to be approved. There is a God, but I did run into people that had me twisted for a minute. And I was hiding it from everybody here on YouTube, but my wife could see it all. Just the stress of people not doing what they are supposed to do, just at a regular job, and I can be understanding, but you never get that from the side that you want the explanations from. The VRE girls, they're not going to sit there and explain every reason why I don't need to worry about how long it might take for a form to process through a big government facility or something. And here I am tapping my fingernails. I'm like, I'm ready to start the next course. I want to get this out of the way. Finish up a degree finally. I mean, but that's a shame that, I guess it gets so, Amanda, everything you just said about what happened to you at work, I've never personally had somebody lie to get me out of a job. Or even just claim that afterwards as the reason. But I have had guys not tell me why. And I had to grow up and I had to learn. And I'm not saying that you have to do this, just my own personal algorithm of stuff. I didn't realize just how overbearing I was. And even if they might have told me something like, it's just because of this, or you were breaking this rule, or they try to find a way to do it where you can't get unemployment out of them. And really, it was just, they just didn't like me no more. And I had to get over that. But that was just me. That was
Now this whole thing, I had realized a while ago, like if I would have put all of this effort that I had to this fucking audiobook company into my own stuff in the first place,
gave it everything.
Then I would be in a different place. So that is my lesson with that, of course. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my whole point of it is, I'm getting flack. I get flack from associating with you guys because of what you say and do, in your own realms and then with other people. And like with, Marcel and that whole flack with, when he was still involved with the Occult Examiner. I'm just saying, I didn't know the extent of that woman's accusations in regards to like the sexual accusation, which I do not take lightly. Like the other, the other stuff about, the confusion and being caught up in a cult, that's one thing, right? But the assault is another thing. Like, I feel that an accusation should have the same punishment as the actual crime.
Someone grooming is a huge accusation.
Yeah, it's not a joke. It's not something just to use as like weapon.
Yeah.
And then, and then the other thing that people are like thrown off about is the, the gay and the trans jokes or whatever. And like I said, I realize that I might be able to overlook more things because of what I have been exposed to, and because like it's so funny because my husband, we've not been together a long time. We're still legally married, but he was in the military. I was a military wife, and he was so homophobic. His best friend was a gay man. They would go to the fucking gay clubs, And one of the things that my husband would tell me is that he must be emotionally gay because he doesn't like women. He likes men. But you know what I mean? So it's like, I understand.
every gay and trans person I know in real life has a sense of humor, and
I love
every one of them I interact with online is so sensitive and can't handle anything. And it like the online communities that represent these real world communities are nothing like the real world ones.
But we haven't said anything negative about trans.
No, it's just
we're condoning that. Is that the problem? Your friend?
I have been questioned about, there having been said ugly things, and like for the one thing that I can only mention that I remember specifically which doctor specifically was about whatever that man who his name is Twink or something. That there was some jokes about like, oh, he needs to change his name. But I know from what you have talked about that you have
named himself that. I mean,
yeah, and I mean it is like, okay, it's like on a level it's not that serious, on another level it is serious, right?
Yeah,
so that's the thing of it, and so that's why, like with Marcel, when I talk to him, it's just like part of it is like I want him to give him an opportunity to like clear his this thing, because I always feel so bad. I am misunderstood a lot. So I feel bad, you know what I mean? Because I know how it is. And Marcel recently invited me to this political like Twitch and stuff that he started getting involved with. And last night was the first time that I was in the comments and everything. And he had mentioned something about Marcel did about because he asked a question about something that he was misinterpreted and accused of being like, you say, Marcel.
Yeah. So I asked the question. I was asking a question to in a trans safe environment about some trans issues, and because I asked the questions, they just immediately assumed they were in bad faith and that I was just transphobic. Right? They just
it's so upsetting when a question, just having the audacity to ask a question is seen as wrong.
That's insane.
And then so he's talking about this in the comments, and then right away people are like, oh, well, you need to understand this and that and the other, right? Oh, you need to understand this. And then I commented, I said, people are looking to fight. People are looking to argue about something, right? And
yes.
Then the person commented to me, oh no, you can't say that, whatever. But I told them, that, which I have not been officially diagnosed as autistic or having ADHD, but I have seen enough stuff over the years. I'm pretty sure I have more than a dash or two. My daughter is the one that told me initially, But when I commented back to this person, I said, I also get misunderstood, and people get upset with me for asking questions. You know, and I threw in there. This is the first time I've thrown in there like straight up. You know, I'm autistic, so I think everybody needs grace. It doesn't matter the level, you know, type thing. And then they came back and were, oh yeah, you know. But it took me having to say, oh well, I'm fucking also something, you know, like don't be offended by me because there's something wrong with me. You know,
Right. Yeah, yeah.
for them to even be okay, you know.
Yeah, you don't have to announce you're autistic to get accepted or something.
If they only knew. You
Oh,
know,
I should say that.
for me to even use this program with the VA, I have to see a therapist every week. You never know what kind of things people understand. I might make jokes, but I definitely want to just say this. Whether it was even a few mechanisms removed or a few notches away from y'all directly, any of the negativity that's been spawned from me, I hate that. I am so sorry.
Yeah,
And to anybody watching, even, you know, sugar tits, sorry, I can be funny. I'm not going to change myself because a couple of people can't take a joke when I'm standing up for so much shit.
Yeah.
It's no. We're
I
not
should
doing
be
that.
expected to tiptoe around your eggshell.
I'm not changing. I fought fucking wars for everybody. No, I'm gonna do this my way, and I'm gonna get along with everybody, just like StephenCrossBible.com.
Right.
Now, I'm just playing. I'm just joking, but you know, just
Well,
like all the friends, you know, just
Can
I like to make the peace if I can, but
Can I share with you one little story that it had reminded me
absolutely.
of?
Of course.
Because when I was on the Central Coast and I was working for a grocery store, which it ended up being my favorite job, working at a grocery store. I didn't do it until it was the pandemic, and that's who needed help, obviously. And then I just really came to love it. But there was a young man that started working there, and he just would say things that irritated the holy shit out of me, right? And I felt so bad because it was like a young man just out of high school, you know, and I would get so irritated with him. And then my friend who was the manager, she told me he's autistic. And I was like, oh my God, my bad, you know? But then I realized, bitch, you should be just assuming this about everybody then. If that's what it takes for you to be like compassionate for
Now
somebody.
it's okay.
You know, I know for to be compassionate with somebody saying something that is like, what the fuck does that mean? What do you mean by that? You know, that's my first inclination. Like, why are you saying that? But then to then realize, okay, it's because they think differently. And then that's what it took for me to like, I saw that in myself and I didn't like it and I felt bad. And I hoped that I would not be that way anymore. Does that make sense? So it's like a lot of people, I think, are starting off like how I was starting off, you know, like, oh, well, why is this person saying this that way? That's fucking annoying. Fuck that person, you know, whatever. But then, you know, not everybody has to do that either. Not everybody has to be compassionate or care or whatever. So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. But I wish that I knew what Mandy was talking about.
He could be joking. He could just be trying to egg him on.
No, no, that's exactly what happened. But yeah, Mandy thinks he knows what happened, but no, that's exactly what happened.
What's he referring to? Just because we're talking about it.
Yeah.
When I said I was asking questions, because that's exactly what I was doing.
Well,
That's
so
exactly
I guess when you said the thing about Amon, is that what? So some people didn't like you because of me.
Yeah.
And then it seems like the fire settled, and then they didn't like you after Sugar Tits sent the clip of you saying that Amon is grooming Chewy. I guess that word really, really triggered the audience.
It did, yeah. I shouldn't use the word, but that's my
I know
whole
you're a fan of his stuff.
Like I was an idiot for wording it that way. Of course I was.
Sometimes I say something like dumb as shit, and it's too late to correct the vocabulary. But like the dyslexia and the mild autism that I've never been diagnosed with, yeah, I misspeak all the time and say the wrong thing, and then like 5 seconds later, I'm going, God damn it. See, when I'm in the Army, I was able to clean it up a lot. You know, everything's very simple in the Army. It's very good for an autistic guy. And I'm not saying I'm diagnosed, and I'm not making fun of it. I'm just, does anybody fucking here think that I'm not mildly? I doubt it. My mom might not say so, but you know, I think she's just trying to be nice. The whole "you're big bone, not fat" thing. And so, yeah, so I can relate to anybody who feels like what maybe in Marcel's situation, I'm not trying to cover for him, because we all about the transparency. And even if I'm ever a dick, I'll say it. You know, I mean, I'm not.
I was asking questions about something I posted, and they were more focused on the fact that the source I was using was anti-trans. What the fuck does the source have to do with anything? I'm asking questions about what's in the video. Why are you nitpicking the source I've got the information from?
Well, what was it?
What I'm actually fucking talking about.
Well, what was the source?
I don't know. It was like some Asmongold video or something. They're like,
oh God, oh man, this is so dumb. That's so dumb. Okay.
It's like, oh, Asmongold's a fucking turf. It's like, what the fuck is your problem? I'm trying to discuss what's in the video. Like, why does the source fucking matter, man? And then they're all like, oh, it's clear your algorithm's all turf shit. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
But I mean, like,
they're a bunch of fucking morons.
What did they do?
What?
For coming after you?
They just fucking called me transphobic and shit because I was trying to understand concepts in a video. And because the source was a source they didn't like, they just shit all over me for it.
Well, I mean, I guess, I'm sorry, I misspoke. What did they say?
They just said, they just, instead of engaging with what I was trying to ask, they were more focused on where I was getting my info and stuff. They were more focused on how turfy my algorithm is and how just based on the source I used.
Who? Well, I can't ask who. But
this was in Myth and Lore. It was in Myth and Lore. I got banned in Myth and Lore because I was asking questions, and because it was like I was trying to understand. I was talking about sanctuary cities, okay? And I was saying, okay, I saw an article. I posted a video on sanctuary cities, and then I posted a video of Trump saying he was going to remove funding from sanctuary cities. And I asked, yo, if removing funding from sanctuary cities happens, doesn't that then remove all the safety you fought for? That's a valid question. And they just tore into the sources instead of answering the question. They're like, oh, these sources are transphobic. So that it's not about the source. Read the question I'm asking.
Yeah,
I'm asking
I know you're not
funding from sanctuary cities. Will that take away the safety you fought for? That's the question. No more, no less. Don't make it something it's not. That's called a false fucking dichotomy.
I think it's a fair question to ask. Just if you're, I mean, we can't always talk about religion. It's okay to trim into politics here and there. I mean, I used to work for them. It's fucking
right.
I hate politics now. That's why I just stick to religion, because I'm just like, I'm so done. I was like, and DC sucks living there, but it was kind of cool, you know.
Right.
Times, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, we can always bring, and I'm not trying to battleground, but like
sharing sources, man. These people are fucking insane.
Well, Mandy knows. If Mandy was in the Army, he would be a psychological operations guy. He would be a PSYOP guy, which is the job that I worked, the other MOS that I worked with. And I know a lot of those guys, and he has a personality like that. So if he wants to come on, y'all can clear air if that's cool with you. I'm not trying to make anything happen, but you know.
Well, yeah, it's the not knowing exactly what it was is hard to deal with, you know.
Oh, are they talking about Dr. Till?
Yeah.
The Dr. Till show?
Yeah.
He said, I guess that it must. I'm reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I never watched anything of that damn show either, which, you know, then I don't know what the fuck
I
it
did
is.
not bash trans people on Dr. Doug
bashing
show,
people
man.
that were
And that
bashing
also
you.
falls under the line of fucking comedy, man.
What? So what? You're saying that you said something that could be considered that, but you were joking, Marcel? Is that what
No,
you're saying?
I didn't say anything. I was just watching the show. And just because I watched it, it means it's
They bashed
retarded.
because
What?
Dr. Till and the snappy thing. So you going on the show?
Yes.
Okay. I'm catching on. I have not been paying enough attention to all the other channels very well. I get it for sure.
What?
Well, what do you get?
We're on a
with
lot of
something?
shows that
You
It's
also don't
fucking-
mind that show.
It's
right?
fucking stupid ideologue wars, man. If you don't like it, don't fucking watch it.
Okay,
So-
but if you are not,
So he's asking, he might have, you know, the episode of Key and Peele when the two guys are texting back and forth and one guy thinks the other guy's pissed and the other guy's all chill thinking they're going to go hang out. And they show up after an hour of having miscommunications. One guy's got a baseball bat with like fucking wire on it. And the other guy's got like movie tickets or they're going to eat or something. And he's like, oh, cool. You know, you brought the bat, or whatever. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. And because he misunderstood, that was a great skit because it happens in relationships, but it also happens a lot on YouTube,
Right?
Discord, or whatever. So I don't know the whole story. That's figured why not ask if it was all here.
Even if I did say something anti-trans, who the fuck cares, man? Grow up.
okay,
Don't
well,
do that.
Marcel, really? Really? So this is where the double talk does a disservice. So, you know, and then this is what adds to the confusion. So you're saying, so what if you do talk shit sometimes?
I'm not saying so. No, it's not about talking shit. It's about the fact that just because I said it in a humorous light doesn't mean I mean it. And I don't even know what I said.
That's what got me burned in the Babylon community was the jokes I was making. So, and so even if it was, you know, I mean, who cares? This shit, we're dudes. We're men, right? We'll say, yeah, I was making a joke. They didn't like it.
Gay people, man. All of my gay friends in real life can handle a gay joke. Every single fucking one of them.
Oh yeah, they make them more than I do.
Right?
Okay, well, there's
Don't
a
make
difference.
it around them. I don't think.
There's
It's a difference. There's a difference between real life and virtual too, though.
Right.
There is a difference, and you can't act as if you can act the same way because you don't have the rapport. You don't have that understanding. And I don't even understand why I mean, are you friends with those people? Or do you just go on there because it's fun to talk shit?
Well, I don't listen. They don't even do that anymore. They've changed the tone of their show to focus on less sensitive people. Because they realize that they've hurt. They realize that they've hurt people's feelings, and it's not. And it's only one. It's only one of the people on the show really being this way, and they've chastised him for it many times, telling him to stop behind the scenes.
Can you pin the Modern Midwest comment? And that's nice to know that they have. I mean, it's hard because it's like I'm trying to keep up with my own shit. I'm not trying to, you know, monitor what other people are doing. It's just like it's loose associations that end up, you know, doing me a disservice, and then I have to clear my understanding about who the fuck you guys are. Do you know what I mean? Which I feel like I do, but then, you know, and then Marcel, it doesn't fucking help when you come and then it is double. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, yeah, well.
Right?
I'm
Listen,
sorry. I'm listening.
there has been no honesty or accountability for growth to happen because everything I've said is still being held above my head, whether I said it or didn't.
Well,
Where's the room for growth to happen if I can't say sorry?
Well, and that's the thing. If you
Did you say sorry?
if you have
Thousand
and they haven't
times.
seen it, or they just were overreacting a little too much, all of that's fair. We have people, we have billionaires that can't get along with each other and their friends and stuff where they pretend to fight. We're actually fighting with each other. That kills it. Who the fuck likes that, man? That is just a mojo ruiner right there, as my friend Deacon Bean Cooter just said in the comments. They don't like people with any mojo. They don't like anyone doing better than them because they're so miserable sometimes. And then other people just like to be a psyop guy. I like psyop guys. They can be fun when they're on your side, but sometimes they can get in your own head too, which my army buddies used to all the time. They would poke fun at me for being the Charlie Day of the group, even though I acted like it kind of on purpose. That's how I was accepted the best. So yeah, and not everyone's going to be everyone's cup of tea. I mean, there's people here. I can say the word Trump, they get triggered. I can say the word Biden, they get triggered. I mean, punching holes in the wall triggered. It's like, bro, it worked. The whole thing, this circus all worked.
Right? If you don't like something,
religion a little bit, but it's fun.
with it, right? The idea of censoring people's hate speech is like ridiculous.
Well, you can let them embarrass themselves. That's also another thing. If someone's really,
Well, if you
I could be considered that.
Yeah, like I would want someone to say something hateful to me so I know to avoid them than an enforced, disingenuous act that's two-faced because there's a law saying they can't talk to me the way they want to. It just
forces a little bit of that going around.
Disingenuous action makes people forces people to be two-faced because they can't be honest.
I think that does happen a lot. I think, yeah.
It's unfortunate that the perception. It's unfortunate, Marcel. It's unfortunate that the perception is that there is two-face because of you joking, and you know what I mean. Like when it isn't.
I'm not talking about me joking. I'm just talking about forcing people by law to not be allowed to say mean things. Forces disingenuous interactions. It forces two-faced interactions because people by law have to be nice. That doesn't mean, yes, there should be consequences for hateful actions, but there shouldn't be a law against doing them.
I think I know what you're trying to say, but it may have
I'm
just
very confused.
In a slightly funny way.
I am very confused.
Shouldn't be you mean about just saying things?
Yes.
Well,
you should be
I
able
don't know
to
what it's like in Canada.
Talk to me, and I should be able to go, okay, now I know not to talk to you. Like,
okay, well, Marcel, I mean, the thing is that you're saying, oh, people shouldn't be censored so that you see how they really feel. And then here you are uncensored saying a bunch of shit saying, oh, well, I didn't mean it.
Yeah, but I don't even know what I'm being told I said. So I don't know what I said. People are just saying, well, you said anti-trans shit. Oh, what anti-trans shit? Show me so I can talk about it and tell you what I meant.
Like here's one thing that I will admit that I've done in the past. Where I've and not maybe this won't apply to this situation, but I've seen things one way, and then over time I've kind of maybe I was like, you know what, maybe that joke really kind of, and so I've even done things like the PowerPoint presentations I had. There was a lot of things about it I wanted to change, not too drastically, but just some. So I had to take them down. So I did, and then I've kind of talked about that on the live streams and stuff ever since. And whatever it is that I did, I kind of know, I have that weird hunch, and whether I've fully accepted it or not, over time, I've gotten better at kind of accepting whether it was or not. Now, if I still think you're being too sensitive, then tough shit. You know what I mean? But I can tell you where it happened. I I can find where the fork in the road was, you know.
Right.
But
I don't see the point in trying to be a better person if every fucking time I try, I just get told it's not genuine.
right. Well, it's like welcome to YouTube.
You
You know,
then,
like even right now, we got a guy in the comments that's recording this, and he's going to splice it up to make us look like we contradict ourselves in real fucking time. So,
Okay, well, there is a little bit of contradiction here and confusion. So
Right?
that's the thing of it.
What's the point in anything if every bit of effort is just thrown right back in your face?
so well, here we go. I mean, this isn't that bad. You got to get it out. If you get it all out, then you'll be over it, and everyone will. So, Marcel, you came to me about what you did, and I told you that you fucked up, but you agreed, and now playing dumb.
I'm not saying I didn't fuck up, but I'm saying that they fucked up too. It goes two ways.
How did you fuck up?
Well, how did I fuck up? Because of the only reason I fucked up is because I didn't understand how sensitive the community was. But that's not really fucking up. It's a lack of understanding, which is why I asked the questions I asked, so I can understand.
Yeah, I have to agree with you a little bit, and I'm not just being biased here. The stuff that you're getting come at, I must be missing something. I've never really heard you make any direct jokes about even that community either. So I feel like there's a little bit of just, like when I mentioned Dave Chappelle as just an analogy for a comedian being funny, saying something funny, and people being too sensitive or something.
Yeah, and also this shit happened.
Somebody came at me with Dave Chappelle's. Hold on a second. Dave Chappelle's conspiracy theorist. He's a this. He's a that. He's a this. And it was like, that wasn't the point of the analogy, but it was the same thing. It was my source of thinking in their head was not okay with them. And there's plenty of people that like Dave Chappelle, and they would have gotten what the hell I was saying, but they wanted to argue. They just wanted to. Like that day when Sugar Tits commented on that Reddit thing, she wanted the attention.
Yes.
I wouldn't have said anything. So I gave it to her. I just doubled down on what I said. She did not like that because sometimes women in that spectrum of the world are very alpha, and they don't like dudes coming back at them. And I'm not dumb. I know that. I took all the shit.
Right? I was also fucking 8 years deep in a crack addiction. I'm now 2 months sober. Like, what do you want from me?
Well, don't you need to make amends then? Isn't that what people do if they were fucking up because they were
not letting me?
Oh, so you are trying to, but you're
just
still
bringing it up over and over again. Oh, but you were this way. You were this way. You were this way.
Not over yet. That's all.
They just keep bringing it back up. It's like, I've apologized. I've said sorry. I've said I'm wrong. I've said I've made a mistake.
Okay, well, then the only thing that you could do is to stop being the same kind of offensive. But we all have to make our own decisions on how much we're going to hinder our own personality. If that is what your personality is going to be, that because of being a content creator or in whatever, doing this stuff, putting ourselves out there are levels of accountability that need to be had, because you are influencing people by the way that you act and what you say and what you're encouraging. So I do get that. And I do think it's important. And then too, for me, I have to decide, okay, so how much am I willing to overlook with you guys to even still talk to you type thing? And like I said earlier, witch doctor, we are not friends. We barely know each other, but the gathering and the learning, that's how we became acquainted with each other. You know what I mean? And that is the focus, but it does matter the way that you behave and present yourself as well.
Yeah, that was the difference between the beginning of when I started the show and the jokes that I was doing. And I saw how it was affecting the people, even though like friends of ours, like Allie, thought some were funny, some did not like it. And even I had guys in the comments saying things like, "What kind of leader are you if you're gonna do all this stuff and drag everybody?" I don't know. I thought it was like no, this is just being funny. Like Myth Vision's dad or something was. I was like, who the fuck even gives a shit, you know? But that was also one of the reasons why I took down some of the videos and stuff, because I was like, all right, I'm gonna redo it, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, if I've literally gotten the attention of people that have the time to record my whole fucking thing on a live stream, and every other person that goes live in our community, and they can mash up videos and expect to be friends talking shit in the comments and stuff, you know, it's like, well, I'll bring you on the show. We can talk about it. But no.
My point is, I was in the depths of crack addiction when all this happened. I don't remember all the details.
Well, that is no just excuse, Marcel. Unfortunately, that can be a reason. I mean,
I'm
sure,
saying
that's a reason.
I'm not using it as an excuse. I'm saying in order for me to talk about it now, it's hard because I can't remember exactly everything.
I don't know what that's like.
I use it as an excuse. I'm saying it's hard. I can't talk. It's hard for me to talk about it now when my memory's been so discombobulated from drug abuse. I've only been sober for like 2 months. Out of the last 10 years.
I'm glad that you're doing better now.
I am. Yeah,
I didn't know that, or I would have talked to you about it. You know, I kind of didn't do a lot of stuff for a few months. Maybe it was during that. You know.
You know, I have almost no memories of the last 10 years of my life.
I feel like I've forgotten a lot too. But you know what? You know, if people out there that care, if they care, they'll watch this. You know, if they want, if they want to, and if they don't let you make it right, then you know, some of the lessons that we've learned here on the channel from some of these magical entheogens was sometimes you got to learn to let it go. You can only do so much and ask for forgiveness so much. And at a certain point, I think that's where sometimes religions actually do a good job of helping people that might be a little trouble with something learn to let it go. But ask for forgiveness before doing all that you can to try to make it right. And if someone doesn't want to forgive you right now, give it time. You know, they'll be thinking about it and they'll be like, man, I shouldn't have been so tough, you know. But yeah, but this was a great conversation. This was absolutely this was good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that y'all came on and talked about it because I'm not a therapist or anything. I need one just as much as anyone else.
I've never experienced anything like this in real life. It's insanity.
Well, anything that causes you internal struggle and conflict. I mean, I have dealt with other things when I was younger and different hobbies and stuff that kind of change the way your brain works, make you really sensitive and really, really, really fragile mentally. And that was before having some revelations, obviously, and whatnot. And you can only learn from it. You know, I used to be a guy that I wouldn't even show my face here. I just was a complete piece of shit. So I've come a long way, but I'll have to continue to prove to those that absolutely find me repulsive that I'm not so bad. So hopefully one day those, just like how I was doing hit pieces on Ali Rowan, we're going to bring her on for an interview and stuff, you know, and we've all friends now.
I hang out with gay and trans people all the time.
I guess just the way you worded something in the comments.
It's just the way I worded something. They're just arguing over fucking semantics.
Okay, well, you admitted that you know, were in various states of mind. So that was then, this is now. All that can be done is time to be had and to be consistent. And I hope that you are able to maintain, Marcel.
Was next to fucking impossible.
Yes, you need to maintain that. So you need to be able to be in peace to do that. You know,
right?
You need to be able to keep your sobriety. And to do that, you need to be in, I think, more peaceful realms. So I would imagine that you should not be subjecting yourself to these situations where you could be caught up in double speech, for lack of better advice to give or phrasing.
Yeah, right. It's just, you know, like like trying to better myself and having it thrown in my face just makes me want to go back to being a drug addict again.
Well, don't. That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
literally what I'm saying.
Don't let these dudes that you know. I mean, how many of these people are putting themselves out there at all? You know.
Right?
You know, how many people that are coming after you? How many of them are putting themselves out there all the time on
They're
camera,
not.
having to, you know, be that person in front of this, putting
Yeah.
it in that vulnerable position and stuff. You know.
I've misspoken a few times, even during this conversation, because I'm emotionally heated. Right?
I guess they don't like ministry too.
They don't, which is
Well, okay, but those people that show, they want to be unliked.
right. Like,
Right? I mean, I have not really watched that show, but the clips that I've seen of those people until they're not doing anything to promote positivity. They're reveling in being shit there together.
Yeah, they bashed my show one time.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but they're not. They'll bash anyone. It's like Kill Tony, man. It's just a shitty version of Kill Tony.
Yeah. You can only be responsible for what you do anyway. Yeah. You know, so it's like me. Like I got an awesome life, and
it's like what was said yesterday. If you held everyone accountable for something bad they said, everyone would be on the chopping block.
I mean, there's just people out there that are just, they have the personalities to want to keep getting under your skin and stuff. They're doing it right now, you know. I have an older brother, so I really know. I know what it's like to, you know, people to give you shit all the time, you know, even if they just know it's to get a rise out of you. You know, kids do it to you.
The Modern Medwas comment.
Oh, yeah. Right?
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry if what I did was harmful. I understand my behavior because I caused a rift. I commit to doing work to better myself each day. Please show me grace. I will continue holding only myself accountable. Yeah, I like that.
I like that too. It's wonderful.
That's the more official, direct. So here's the thing that I'll just say. Not that you're not doing this. You know, I'm not a therapist, but the one thing you can do as a man, you know, a non-castrated individual, is just, you know, stand up for your fuck ups, man.
Not a man, a person.
A human. That's what all humans should do, right? Yeah.
Well, of course.
Sorry.
Yeah. Between me and Marcel, that's all I meant.
Yeah, Mandy, I would never put you in the category of the people I'm talking about, Mandy. And I'm sorry if you feel like I am. But the reason I confide in you, Mandy, is because I trust your opinions, and I trust I trust you to be honest and shit with me, and you are. And I'm sorry if what I'm saying right now is coming across as what's the word? As contradicting what I've said in the past. But you know, I'm not trying to do that. I'm just, this conversation is emotionally triggering. So it's hard for me to even think straight right now. You know. But again, Mandy, I'm sorry
if might have some wise knowledge.
What I'm talking about right now, because you're not. It's really only one or two people that I'm really referring to, and I don't want to bring their names up because I don't want to push any animosity towards them, because it doesn't matter who they are.
Right. Well, and at the same time, you got to remember, you know, at the end of the day, the whole goal is that we all become friends again. If you don't want to, and they refuse to accept your apology, then that's on them, bro. You know, you're not doing anything to hurt anybody. You know, so.
I'm sorry if you feel like is an apology.
Well, no, if they don't accept yours.
No, Modern Medwas said, "I'm sorry if you feel like isn't an apology."
Yeah, when people say, "I'm sorry that you feel like that," I hate that. Even though I just said the same thing, like, you know, well, I'm sorry if my jokes offend you, but like, I ain't going that far, you know.
Yeah.
It could be way worse, you know, goddamn. But I know that's not what she's trying to say.
Okay, well, yeah, what is the right way to phrase that when you,
Yeah,
you know,
if
when
you
you said something and it was taken wrongly?
yeah,
How do you say it then?
there's no other way.
You
Okay.
know, it almost reminds me of a
I
relationship
feel like
where
you
two
hurt me. I'm sorry you feel that way. Like, how else are you supposed to reply to that?
So it reminds me a little bit of when two people are disagreeing and they say they're sorry, but the other spouse or something doesn't want to accept the apology, and the other person can be so sorry. They can really mean it and everything, and then some. That's a very disheartening feeling for sure. That people would not want to make up, and see the good in something, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
don't know, man.
Tiger just joined in. He has no idea what's going on.
I don't know if you want to pin Mandy's for a second too. I cannot.
I was gonna say I can send Tiger Shark.
I'm not sure what Randy means by this, but
If you are this emotionally triggered by this, imagine how triggering your bullshit was to people you defended attacking.
I'm not defending anyone.
Well,
defended.
he is doing a great job standing up for the other side of the coin, whether it be sincere or part of Mandy's personality. I appreciate what he's doing
Yeah,
because
me too. I
just
love
check
Randy.
and balances type
Sorry.
stuff. We see it in other stuff on YouTube. We see guys doing check and balance type stuff. And I think that's good. I think it can be a good thing, especially considering we all are here because we really like some of the stuff we were talking about.
Well, okay, what Mandy is saying here in this other comment about it being taken wrongly because of the source, it just goes back to what Marcel was saying about that being the focus, that it was the source where he was trying to ask the question and included that.
He was criticizing the
I wanted
article.
to ask the question about the content. Like, why does the source matter? It shouldn't.
It's like if I share something from Fox News, but I'm criticizing something in it, the fact that I shared something
I was trying to criticize.
what they're mad about, not what I'm saying that agrees with.
No, I didn't defend the turf. I was trying to criticize the turf's video.
Right. Right. That's where I'm kind of
defend.
confused on how it got so out of hand. I'm like, weren't you criticizing it? Like,
I was trying to criticize it, but they dogpiled me about it before I could even get my points out.
you defended a turf.
Before I could even try and make my point, they're like, this is turf material. It's like, well, you don't even know what I'm trying to say about it yet.
What's turf?
Am
I that dumb? What? You defended a turf.
It's an anti-trans acronym. I can't remember what it stands for.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that.
I forget what it stands for.
Yeah, it's an anti-trans act, right? They didn't even let me get my criticisms out, man.
Well, I have been in situations where I couldn't get my point across the best or the right way or in time. And it's like, you ever done that through text with people? Like arguing?
Yeah,
like, oh man, it ruined your day.
I also back then I didn't follow politics, so I don't know what the fuck sources are right wing and left wing. I was just saying that's
why I don't do a lot of the politics stuff, because I already worked for the red dudes before doing security and stuff. I don't like what the fuck's happening right now. I'm like, what the fuck? And so I've been pretty transparent about it, but I don't think I've ever really come across as like the biggest supporter of the guys I worked for. I always kind of made fun of them a little bit, but I had a good time on the road doing the job. That was absolutely awesome. The rallies and stuff were a pain in the balls, but I still have friends, even working for them, I still have friends that don't like him. So I must have avoided something along the way to not seem like a super conservative guy. Maybe it's talking about all of this. I don't know. But it's a double-edged sword, because if I don't say it in a way that everyone likes, then someone's going to say something, and then I have to live with that, or I have to not say that. that way unless I want to sign up for the battle, and I don't, because I would never want to fight with people about.
Shouldn't we judge someone by the content of their argument and the color of their source?
Well,
you know, it's the same thing. Shouldn't we judge someone by the content of their character and the color of their skin? It's the same fucking argument.
Anti-trans. Is that what TERF means? Anti-trans?
Yeah, I forget the acronym offhand, but here, don't publicly engage in those topics until you do understand them or are open to learning from your mistakes. This was not public. This was in, you know, a group that you were trying to talk to about it. But I do understand it. Things trigger. Things are so triggering. We are sensitive.
I didn't even watch the video before I posted it. I saw it had the thumbnail I wanted. I didn't even watch it. I was like, oh, this has the thumbnail I'm looking for.
Okay, yeah. Well, that was bad. That was an unfortunate choice too, to use that without watching it.
More than likely, this topic will be dead now. If they keep bringing it up, it's going to be like, all right, well.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to bring things up and judge them. I just, you know, when I'm being questioned about my associations, and, you know, like I feel that there has been misunderstanding, I have to show that just to try to help, because I'm definitely not what you guys are being accused of being. And like you guys are saying about earlier, oh, if you're hanging out with 5 assholes, you're the 6th one. I am not trying to associate myself in a way that's gonna damper what I'm trying to do with my own community.
Yeah. And nor should you. You shouldn't.
There you go. Mandy put it up for us, the actual thing.
Trans exclusionary radical.
Mandy, I'm not saying okay, I will like I'm not trying to say who cares about the source. I'm saying the content of my argument against the source matters more than the source itself.
Yeah, I actually agree with you on this. If you were criticizing the source, I don't know why.
The content of the source matters more than where it came from.
Okay, well, that's a learning experience about just how to engage with community online. You know, start off admitting that you don't know what exactly is going on and that you would like some clarification with the question. And yeah, don't share things that you didn't even watch, Marcel. I mean, I know this is like, I'm not trying to scold you or anything.
No,
it's unfortunate to see how everything is confused.
Mm-hmm. Yo, I'm here. Thank you for your time. Decades.
Yeah. Right.
Well, we wanted to jump on. So I actually had the day off, and we weren't going to take up everybody's time necessarily, but you know, not to say that Marcel and Amanda can't stay on longer than how long I was, you know, going to be on or whatever. But we wanted to crack it open a little bit because, you know, I talked to Marcel every day, and you know, he mentioned something about just people getting under his skin and stuff, and I was like, well, let's go live and we can just talk about it now or whatever. And so I'm going to leave this up, and I'm going to keep it up, you know, and I want hopefully people that need to see it can come by and at least judge your perspective. Now, more than likely, they're probably going to feel exactly the same way, even if they watch this, and that's okay, you know. And then let them chew on it for a little bit, and then depending on how you are moving forward, same for myself, you know. If there's anybody that's really thought I was really taking a dig at them just really hard, you know, I absolutely do apologize if you thought I was trying to ruin your life or something by making fun of you. I can be very brash, and I'm totally got the personality of a guy you might not even like, you know, just the way that I talk and stuff. And I understand that. And so I'll always try to be a little bit better about making the content not so brash if it's coming across that way. I guess I'm glad that there was a reaction, Marcel, to any of the stuff. Not that I like anything happening to my friends or people that I associate with or people that we bring onto the show. Not that I want to fight all their wars for them, but I do want to get other people on who disagree with other things that we talk about, preferably the material on the show and all the religious stuff being the main topic. I would love to leave all the political stuff aside, that would be great. Just because it's such a different channel's kind of topic. It's just not on this channel. It's just not, and your channel's not even really like that. And we'll have to see and hear and visit Bearcat with the Blunt Life on her show and see more about what's going on over there. And since I got you, I was going to ask you, have you been doing anything lately with your show? I haven't been paying attention to anybody. Have you had any new episodes or new guests?
Well, because of, the last few weeks juggling that bullshit with work, and then my kids came before they went back to school, and then I did not have the heart to tell them, about what happened with work and everything yet. So I'm still trying to get some things together. The interview that I did with Lord Cameron and Tiger Shark. It's on my YouTube, but I haven't published them because I'm not done with the damn descriptions yet, but I'm working on that this week. And I have started doing another, a different one. It's the Blunt Life featuring, because it's a musician that I have started. So that's going to be a couple parts. And then a friend of mine that I knew from years ago, she's a comedian and she's working on her stuff. So I'm going to be helping her there and presenting that as well. So yeah, I'm doing some stuff and everything. And, it's weird because, I'm starting to do my things that are not, they are more in the realm of political, but in that I'm trying to source ideas for reform, government reform. I'm trying to do that while also subjecting myself to being interviewed so that I can be questioned, or why would you even want to do that? Because everybody says only corrupt people want that position, only people that like power. But in fact, I'm trying to dissolve a bunch of things. You know what I mean?
Right.
So for me on my stuff, so it's just kind of weird trying to start it when
you're that
people,
show.
when the people that I am familiar with here are involved in these other things that are more sticky because of the all that other stuff going on with other things.
Anybody heard from Lord Cameron lately?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he did. We did something. I helped him. Yeah, I helped him with the. Yeah, he does this.
I go by and like and comment. I'm always so damn. I walk around and do stuff so much. I'm just so scatterbrained.
Right. I don't know.
But I just, because, and it's weird too, because my stuff at the Blunt Life, because it is ultimately to help me with my model, getting together this outline for reform. Initially, why the fuck would I have a Canadian in my goddamn community? You know what I mean? But then at the same time, it's like, what the fuck are borders even about? Like, that shit is ridiculous on a level as well. So that's a whole nother conversation. So when people are coming into my community and then they're getting confused because they see, or they have bad experience, you know what I mean, with people I'm already involved with, that I don't have that same bad experience, then I just need to understand what is the truth about what is happening, because I can't have nefariousness tied up in my stuff. I cannot afford that.
I was told why I was banned from Myth and Lore. Exactly why. So, and it's not because I was being transphobic. That's what they labeled me in the thing. Fish, the mod, told one other person why he banned me, and it was just because the topics of discussion I was having was just causing too much drama. The mods didn't think I was a fucking transphobe. It was the community just saying it. In fact, the mods were picking up for me and trying to explain what the questions I was asking. It was the mods in Myth and Lore who were trying to help me. Right? The mods were like Bear Vivi. Bear Vivi was so nice, man. She was like, "Yo, this is a turf source. Please don't let it misguide you," and stuff like that. And the conversation was beautiful. But then other people started coming in and just shitting all over me. It wasn't a unanimous decision.
Well, I'm glad you said that. I think that
Right? People there were trying to help me learn and understand. But then as soon as people started saying transphobe shit, they just banned me because what I was doing was throwing chaos apples around.
Well, look, I'll tell you one thing. Just being funny here, when I was in the Army, I had a drill sergeant from Poland, and he was a former Polish infantry guy that went into the Army, became PSYOP. He got accused of being racist. So the next day, he brought his wife to work. And of course, she was a black lady. And the guy that was accusing him was a black guy in the Army. It was a private who got in trouble for doing something wrong. So he said something that I guess people would just find believable, I guess. I don't know. But it's one of them I got you moments. And thank God this guy had a black wife because it squashed it immediately. But it was just kind of interesting, it sort of reminds me of that situation where you're being accused of something that you're not, and there's no way for you to prove it unless you marry a trans person. So I hope you do that in the next year and you'll be good. I'm just playing. So hopefully
that's a bit of comedy. Like that'll be fucking used against you now because you made a joke.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna stop, but I'm willing to take the shit. That's
yeah. Right.
So I'm willing to take the heat because I am just being funny, and if that's just me, all right. Yeah. But look, like I said, all my friends are liberals and stuff. They all make fun of me too for being dumb. What the fuck? So who cares? It's all good. And define trans, please. Are you serious, bro? No one is being canceled. Some people got screwed job-wise at a certain point. So, well, I think Chase just got here. He's not talking about what you were saying.
Yeah.
Trans. I'm not going to define trans because at this point, if you need to be told what that is, then I advise you to go find some friends who can talk with you in private about that.
Yeah, we just did a video 2 days ago about trans people in BC, about the Scythian trans tribe.
I'm hoping Jesus is a eunuch priest so bad. Like everyone should know I'm not trans. My wife's brother is trans, but I talked about the guys who date female bodybuilders. It's no different than dating a trans man. So fuck off.
What the hell does that mean?
When you date women that take steroids, that's the same thing as dating a woman that's taking steroids to turn into a man. The same side effects are there.
Oh,
I have to live with the same things if you're going to date muscle mommies. Sorry, it's the same fucking thing, guys. So I dare you to call me transphobic.
Muscle mommies.
Yeah.
I have not heard that.
That's what my wife is. She's a pro bodybuilder. There's no way.
I know. Yeah, no, she's lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I just I guess that's my bringing my black wife to work. That's my analogy. That's all I can do is be like, well, not only is my wife's brother trans female, I've worked for Caitlyn Jenner, done security for HRC. I also live with the same exact thing that trans women deal with or trans men deal with when they are transitioning, is all of the hormonal side effects that you're going to deal with when freaking chicks are hopped up on Mountain Dew before their goddamn shows. I mean, what the hell? They're on so many male hormones. I can tell you other women in the IFBB world who take so much more too. And their boyfriends who I know, like, I can't say their names, but it's all of them. all of them, all of those bodybuilder guys, all of their girlfriends and wives that take all these drugs, they are dealing with the same thing. So you're not going to find a lot of bodybuilder guys that are actually transphobic, but you might find guys that make those jokes just because that's is. That's all there is to it.
We got to send Mandy a link.
Well, he said he can't come on until about 2:30. Oh,
he just commented.
Yeah. I got to use the bathroom. Just give me 1 second.
Well, I was about to go, but if Marcel, if you want to host it, and I'm gonna go, I got stuff I got to do today. But
will you send him the link real quick?
yes. Invite guest. Copy and paste. All right. My kids start school tomorrow. I'm so excited.
That's nice. And we're looking forward to me and Lord Cameron.
Yes. I want to have y'all both on again so we can talk a little bit more.
Yeah, about what you guys got going on.
Just received the Towel of Minerva, my special signed book from Mr. Mandy Moorhall himself, which is why I'm so glad he was here today, because of just how insanely uncomfortable that conversation was and how you got to have them. And, you know, like, what is it? Action Bronson said when he got shot in that movie, we're all friends again. so we're all good. We got in all of us now. So. Raw Path is my #1 fan. Here we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Raw Path is gonna make some shitty hit piece on us now.
Make a hit piece on us that is gonna make me tighten the noose.
Yeah.
What does that mean, tighten the noose?
I'm just joking, but what I mean is,
I thought you were gonna say tighten up your own damn behavior.
No.
What is in those videos?
I want to completely give up and forfeit YouTube altogether.
Oh.
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Say we had the
Raw Path is a fellow misogynist.
come on whenever he will come on the show, but he don't want to come on the show.
I don't. That is not the case.
And Raw Path, you know I'm speaking humorously when I say you're gonna make a hit piece, right? Like, I love your work, dude. Like,
I called myself a mycologist once.
It's fun, man.
Not everybody can be faced like this, but that doesn't mean that their content is any less worth because of it.
Well, if I want to do a hit piece on Raw Path, he doesn't have any material for me to do a hit piece on.
The material that he has is trying to create accountability, or they, since it's don't attribute to gender when it's not necessary. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just a name. The they.
Oh, you mean like what? Oh,
calling Raw Path anything is unnecessary. Like,
did I call
gender right? Well, you said he, but I've been trying to.
I thought Marcel said he was a dude.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know. My bad. I do apologize.
Yeah, but the content of that is meant to be reflective. So years ago, I was friends with an older man that one of the things that he did with his students was record them and then play it back for them later. And then they would watch themselves and they would see the way that they conducted themselves, and it would make them realize and then purposely create how they were being. Does that make sense? I did not prepare myself to share that. But with being shown recordings of your own goddamn self saying and doing what you do in front of whoever else is important, because then you realize how other people are seeing you. And if you value the way other people are taking you in, and you value being authentic, then you're going to be able to see your recordings and not have a problem with it.
Yes, 100%, 100%.
Right. That's great. The only problem is I've never watched his stuff. I did comment on his first video, but I didn't watch it. I just said like, oh, awesome, bro. Some blanketed comment, or I put a laughing face or something.
Yeah.
but I might check his stuff out. You know,
and
I just
some
don't have the motivation.
past content picks up for us. Some of it doesn't. Like it's not like it's Rob has.
I don't think that content is meant to pick up for anything, but rather just show the truth of what's happening on other stuff.
Is your microphone working?
Yo, what up? Am I coming through? Check,
Yeah.
check 1 2 1 2. Check. You can
Check,
hear me? I just got new yesterday, and I don't know if these are working.
No, you're good.
Nice.
You're good.
I'm in a shady spot where I got decent Wi-Fi. I'm like, all right, hell yeah, I'll swing in and chat. Anyway, did any of the criticism that I was out there land, like any of that stuff that I'm saying? Because I think Witch Doctor kind of caught on that there's some legitimacy to what I'm saying, and as the conversation degraded, it kind of cost that I wasn't bullshitting, and one of the parties was getting a little more than the other. Is that did that come across pretty clear? I'm not trying to blow up your spot and really fuck with you or anything like that, but I'm saying, like you and I have talked about this situation. I need to go and kind of badmouth the community that I'm part of, and I'm the one who's actively trying to bridge the between you guys and the rest of the community, because you all keep fucking up repeatedly, and it's not that hard to not fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna fucking go, oh, like if I can smell some anti-trans shit, then maybe I'm on the wrong path here, and what I'm doing isn't compatible with what I'm saying. And also, it's fucked up that I'm the one who has to remind you guys that it's not compatible with Amon shit, because I'm not even an Ammonite. Right? Like, I'm the one critical of Amon. I'm the one like helping Neil and fucking and Steven and Cross Bible like look up some of this shit like critically, because I know other sources and shit that people in the community don't. So like, it's not that it doesn't make any sense that I'm the one who has to come out here and go and remind you like, hey, maybe y'all shouldn't be sharing some anti-trans shit, following down these fucking turf paths, because it's completely incompatible with any communion with the muses, any communion with the Great Mother, or any of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, this is a huge tradition. This is a thing that goes back 300,000 years, and like I've known this trans stuff and this queer stuff since I was young. You know what I mean? Like, since I was a kid, it's not foreign to me. So like, for you to be a grown man and to like go into a queer space, like, I get it. You got drugged and all that. I get it. Like, everybody's got their fucking shit. That's also not an excuse. You know what I mean? Like, if you got pulled over for driving your car on crack, the judge isn't going to go, oh, he was on crack, so we're going to give him we're going to be a little lenient on him. Like, no, they're going to fucking punish you more. You know what I mean? Like, how is that a defense, my dude? Like, it's the craziest shit that I've ever heard in my life. And like,
I'm not trying to use it as a defense.
I don't understand why I'm the one who has to be the voice.
We had a little bit of a communication delay, so just putting that out there, because I know people step on each other.
Okay, so Mandy, I'm not trying to use it as an excuse. I'm just saying my memory has been affected. Now, at the same time, yes, I perfectly see what you're saying. But when I say, like, when I'm using they, I'm not trying to lump you in there. Not everyone in Myth and Lore dogpiled me when this situation happened. Ban Vivi and the mob were trying to help me understand. It was only a tiny few people who reacted in the transphobic way. Yep, go ahead.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm also banned from Myth and Lore. So like, you're not gonna get any sympathy from me for being banned from the Myth and Lore server, dude. Like, I got banned on the Myth and Lore server for threatening violence against Nazis. I was like, I will find you and I will stab you. I'm a Nazi stabber. So if you're in this community, you're in the wrong space. You know what I mean? And I got banned for that shit. So if you like came in there, even me knowing who you are and trying to bridge this gap and all that shit, I would have been jumping on you for this shit. Now, I'm a sort of a voice of reason that kind of bridges the gap between the two of you of these communities, and like you recognize that what I'm saying has some validity and has some sort of a weight to it, so you look at it a little bit differently, yada yada yada. I understand that, but like I'm banned from that community, dude, and like we're banned for very 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 different reasons, right? Like
Yes.
I'm banned for threatening violence to defend the community, and you're banned for sharing things that are advocating for violence against the community. Does that make any sense? You know what I mean? Like we're not the same here, my dude. Like we're
I know
on two different like polar opposite ends of the extreme here. Like I got banned for being too radically inclusive and too radically protective of the community, and you got banned for fucking up. So just admit, hey, I fucked up. It's not that hard. You don't need to go and like defend yourself and just dig the hole deeper and deeper and deeper. You know what I mean? Like grow a pair of balls, my dude, and just say, look, I fucked up. And you can reach out to these people and say, I talked to Mandy. I fucked up. I totally realized that. You don't need to just like revert back to this reactionary fucking bullshit. And it's not because you do crack. I have plenty of friends who smoke crack and are not transphobes and would never do that. You know what I mean? It's not an excuse. You know what I mean? Like I get it, but it's not an excuse, my dude.
Just because I shared one source that was potentially transphobic doesn't make me a transphobe.
Marcel, can I say something real quick? I think it is more than just it's more than that instance, because then you go on these other shows and then you dick around and say your jokes and then don't realize the effect and how it just enforces the perception.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay, so then that's it. That was, unfortunate, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. Misunderstood.
Maybe I'm just focusing too much on certain details and not looking at the bigger picture. Right? Like
we've been saying that, dude. We've been saying that. The bigger picture is you made a choice to go into a space that you knew was a queer space. Right. This was when all the stuff and people sharing what Snappy posted about how this is a queer space, and if you don't like it, yada yada yada, we're not tolerant of this, and yada yada yada. Take it as you will. Like that's basically a trigger warning for reactionaries. So if you're a reactionary, you're not welcome here. You know what I mean? That's the exact same thing as a trigger warning for people who are sensitive to, all sorts of things that get trigger warnings in left-wing spaces. Right-wing fucking trigger warnings are the same thing, right? To give you a warning, you're not welcome in this space if you do this, and that, and this, and that. That's a trigger warning because you're the type of person who's going to get triggered for that shit. And you went into a space that you knew had a warning that this is not welcome in this space. And then you decided to share it. And your excuse is, I didn't know it was a turf course. So you got what you deserved. I'm not sympathetic to you, dude. I'm not sympathetic at all. And then you keep going on all of these shows saying, I was just asking questions. I was just asking. My dude, if you went into a fucking synagogue and you started fucking, quoting fucking the Mein Kampf. If you went into a fucking a mosque and you started quoting, any fucking anti-Muslim shit. If you went into a church and you started quoting Nietzsche, they're going to get the reaction that you expect. I will go into a church all fucking day and start quoting Nietzsche. Do you like that? And that's fun. And I'm punching up. You know what I mean? I'm punching up. Quintilian, Cicero, so many goddamn people throughout time have been saying, just punch up, and it doesn't matter all the shit that you disagree with all the people that you have so much in common with, just punch up. You have a common enemy, and punch up at that enemy. Just reconcile all of your differences and come together and punch up. And you guys fucking can't, and I'm not, it's my goddamn mind. You just go, we can, and then you get into like these spaces where there's weird people, and I'm not saying all of you do, but it's like just comedian, be a fucking comedian. That affords you poetic license. Everybody knows I'm a comedian and a satirist. So when I go in there and start talking shit, they have that expectation and they go, oh, like this is the character Mandy puts on. It's a thing. You know what I mean? I have that social capital. You don't, right? You don't have that social capital. If you're not walking in there going, I'm a comedian, I tell jokes, and what I'm saying are jokes.
Well, I think we lost you, Manny.
Mandy, you're frozen. I thought I was
Yeah.
on mute.
You can't be in a dead spot.
Well, I am reminded that I was asked to ask Marcel about like the satire. What exactly does satire mean to you because of the difference?
Real quick, just addressing the chat.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean to step on what you just said. If you professional amateur, if you rewind to the beginning and you'll hear the whole thing. But I would hate to have them go through it again. But Mandy's call fell through, so hopefully he'll be back in a minute and he can. I think he pretty much said what he wants to say anyway. And
Well, yeah, that was
because that's what Mandy's good for, you know.
Yeah. Mandy's great for that. But also, I could tell some of what I said was misunderstood. And I wasn't trying to use I wasn't using anything as an excuse. I was just saying my memory's been affected. It's not making an excuse. It's just saying my memory's been affected. There's a difference there.
well. What he was clarifying about being able to come into spaces himself, being a comedian and satirist, is one thing. But in what he's saying about he has that like social credit or whatever, that is kind of the difference because it has been defined like what he stands for on a certain level, but there is confusion with you, Marcel, but it is because of everything, you know, you're not coming from the same place, you know, so all that can be done is that you acknowledge what it was and apologize and then move forward, you know, and hopefully don't get in the same situations. And I mean, I don't know, the whole joking around about things, I don't know. It's unnecessary.
That's not the point anymore. But the whole thing, like not everyone in the community attacked me for posting what I posted. It was only a small few people. It wasn't everyone, right?
And that's why Mandy wanted to just hop on and be like, well,
some of them were trying to help me learn and understand about what I posted, why it was anti-trans. People were trying to teach me and help me. Others of them were just like, you're a bigot. They just didn't try to help me at all. And it was posted in a rant and debate section. I was trying to learn, right? They just automatically assumed it was in bad faith. And because it was causing so much disruption in the community, the Fish just decided to ban me. It wasn't because he thought I was transphobic. The mods were okay. They just said, this is causing too much. There's too much chaos apple here. Right?
Look, I've even been let go.
That's why when I say, sorry, you go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, this reminds me of when I was let go from a job because it was just not working out. It didn't have the specifics. There's plenty of things they can say, and there's plenty of things you can say, but it just wasn't working out. And it just kind of reminds me of the situation where it was like, look, you know.
That's like the political group, Amanda, that I've got you into. Every single question I ask, they're like, they understand that they're in good faith, and they tell me, yo, usually these questions are asked in bad faith, but we know you're new here, and we know you're asking them in good faith and trying to.
Well, yeah, and you clarified that from the beginning that you didn't know and that you were trying to learn. That was not the case in these other instances.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yes, it was. I was clarifying that. It's just that some people, they didn't believe me that I was doing it in good faith. I said I'm doing this in good faith, and they just said, no, you're not.
And I mean, in all due respect, and I'm not trying to be any kind of way or anything like that. Like, you're not going to make everyone happy, you know?
Right.
And
Marcel is not teaching Amanda politics. Marcel said that because of my attempts at whatever the fuck, he thought about, oh yeah, maybe I should look into things too, right? Marcel, you told me last night through that chat thing in the stream that you joined that because of our
Amanda is the one who inspired me to start actually paying attention to politics and learn about it. So I went and found, I'm in another community, there's a political streamer, and then so I started following her, and then I thought, hey, Amanda might like this, so I invited her into last night. And I'm really starting to like it. And it's one of the nicest communities ever because I can ask questions and I'm not chastised for it being done in bad faith. Right? My problem isn't that I'm banned. My problem is the fact that saying I'm doing this in good faith wasn't trusted. And because it was one person who didn't trust it was good faith, I got banned. 90% of the people trusted it wasn't good faith and they were trying to help me. Then one person saw it and said, no, this isn't good faith. They're just trying to cause trouble. When I was doing it in good.
I mean, Jevin thought I was trying to cause trouble on her channel. It really wasn't the case, but she flipped on me overnight, and I was like, all right.
I was sincere. I was trying to do it in good faith. And I said, I apologize a million times. But if I'm saying I'm doing it in good faith and you're just not going to trust me and not believe me, whatever, man.
No, and what you've already said, you're sorry. So that's why I'm glad you came on the show, because I know you better than a lot of other people out there. And I really can't imagine you trying to stir up trouble like with an article with the source. And look, I'm sure that there's things that, people in that realm, like I'm sure there's other people with YouTubes out there that don't like me. It's okay. I wasn't, not trying to get on their shows or anything like that. And if anything that I've ever said has caused them to stop doing things that they were doing before, I don't know if it was really me saying it. It might have just been, deep down they were insecure about it, and then someone said it finally, and and if that caused you to have a revelation of your own, then you're welcome. Because I'm really not trying. Being a civil affairs guy for the Army, I'm just you go and help poor kids in other countries. I'm not necessarily the kind of guy who thinks that tells your whole personality. But I've been a jerk, but I haven't been a jerk to anybody from this community like I've been a jerk to people in my past.
Yeah, me either. Same.
I've been very easy on people. I can tell some people are sensitive. They get their feelings hurt, and it's like, I get it, I totally get it. For sure.
I got pulled aside into private messages and berated about how I'm the most disingenuous, bad faith actor ever. And it's like, dude, okay.
Well, I mean,
that shows more about your paranoia than who I am.
I don't think that is true. I think you did do a lot of shows like back to back to back, and you were out there a bunch. And just like when in the past, when I was just sharing so many photos over and over and over again, and just so active online, you're signing yourself up for someone to not agree with something. And I've had Facebook posts or something that I thought about it later, and I was like, man, this is fucking stupid. And I take it down and stuff, and everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah. Of course.
First place are completely accidental and combined with miscommunications and misinterpreting you. I know what kind of guy you are, and I know that you're not going after the trans people. And if it bothers you this much, then obviously you're going to make some corrections to how you are, because you can't handle this stress.
No.
Yeah, what I mean? That's just, I think that's what's going to, that's the natural reaction, is that there's definitely going to be a pullback on any of the stuff that was triggering other people. But also, you're not even allowed to go in that chat. But I doubt you're going to be jumping into chats sharing, you know, about reading them or whatever, or thinking to myself, which I think this is a little bit silly considering that you were trying to criticize the fucking article in the first fucking place.
Yes, that was my
and look, and let this be known real quick, just from both sides, looking at each side. I hope I'm in the middle, but let's just say, pointing guns at either side, both sides have people who are fucking pussies, and they have no backbone, and all they can do is talk shit in here. So just always maintain that there's going to be at least 1% of the people coming after you are people that, there are going to be people that are too sensitive. There are going to be people that are too opinionated. There are going to be people that in 10 years don't feel the same way as something that they might have been babbling on about in comments somewhere. Also, people change. And on my show, you're allowed to change your opinion on anything at any time upon further research. And I understand that people don't want you to get the wrong research and now your opinion changes for the worse. But there's opinions that people think that I have that they wish I didn't have. And there's opinions that have changed over time based on what I've learned. I've been as transparent as I can about the transformation of the knowledge changing some, or the information or the perception or the how we're having the conversations. There's been some, but for example, if I haven't had a problem with any of the smoke that I've gotten. So that's been where I don't, some people are going to care more and it really bugs them and it tears them apart. And then other people, they're going to be built to be a little more resilient to that. And like, for example, I've gotten criticized on my physique directly to me from people hating on like even how I looked and stuff. And so I've dealt with a lot of hate and criticism from a bunch of trolls online. So you also have to maintain that you might be wrong, but there are also sometimes trolls. Now, in this situation, Andy thought that he needed to clear some stuff up because it was a little bit, here was the perception. Maybe you didn't notice.
Mandy was right. Mandy was right, and I admitted I did make a mistake by posting an anti-trans source, but and just because like it's not like I
look, there's got to be some people in the liberal sphere that have a little bit more of I don't know, that are a little bit more towards the middle, because who's going to stand up for them? You're not going to have an army of witches show up at Poison Darts and take out all the Boagrius that show up when things fall apart in your home country. Okay. So if you want to keep these things that we like, these progressive movements, and there's a lot that I like, someone's got to fight for y'all. And I'm not even joking. And this might sound a little too gung-ho fucking Black Hawk Down. The people that are going to defend that, I just hope that that's where my place is, because I will have the balls to stand up to whatever is trying to people. I'm going to be the one, like, this is just an army reference. We're the ones fighting the wars to keep the rights you got. So I'm on your side, and it's always going to be that way. But I know I sound like a fucking John Cena ripoff, talk from the back of my throat, army kind of knife hand, and I know I can come across as brash. So I will say that I have definitely come across brash, even given these examples, and just the intonation of my voice, the inflection, whatever.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it offensive to call you a meathead?
No, everybody calls me a meathead.
No, but yeah, that word, is it offensive?
No.
Okay.
No, I know some people they want it to offend you. Like, for example, there is a gym franchise that discriminates against people with muscles called Planet Fitness. I cannot go to Planet Fitness because I'm in too good of a shape.
Literally?
So, yeah, there's a picture of a guy that looks just like me on the wall, wearing a stringer with a gallon of water in his hand. And we don't like your kind here. So every time you're lifting weights, they're hitting the freaking buzzers, blah, blah, blah. But in all reality, you can. But the gym culture on the wall is discriminatory towards guys like me.
Chase,
They'll have a membership. They won't kick you out. They're going to play nice as long as you're not dropping weights and being a meathead. But I have had friends who couldn't get a job there because they looked too much like a meathead. You know what I mean? So yeah. So, I mean, I faced, I get it, but yeah, there's just to add to that, the term meathead. No, it doesn't. I've never been called like jock, but I've been called a lot of nicknames and stuff. I mean, I don't think bodybuilders care too much, but maybe people that don't like it when they're called.
Well, no, I feel like I have used that word in the past, and it has been offensive, and I didn't mean it that way, and I didn't know that it was. So, right, you said something. To what?
To another guy.
I did. It was a while ago in an online community. I just said, about the meatheads or whatever, but something you said reminded me that I had that question, if it was actually offensive or not, and I thought I should ask you because you're a meathead, no?
No. Boy, see, that's the thing is that, like, if y'all can't accept the meatheads or the guy, how do I say this without sounding like a complete meathead or a complete freaking jerk? Who's going to fight the fights for you? An army of like, no offense, but an army of like, I'm just saying.
So, okay, well, you say that, but it reminds me of what I used to tell my daughter in elementary school when she was having trouble with people, her peer and classmates, and she would tell me about it. And I would tell her, okay, well, I would advise her on how she could, deal with it one-on-one with the person. And if she couldn't, then she needed to take it to the teacher, or she needed to tell me, and then I would take it to the teacher, right? But I would tell her, I would say, who is going to speak for you? No one. You have to do it. So I hear what you're saying, witch doctor. Oh, who's going to do it? We need to do it for ourselves and each other if we give a fuck.
Agreed. And that's why I think it's good to have guys like me on the liberal side. I would only hope that my friends actually like me a little bit, because I do have tons of liberal friends. I mean, after all, I went to a school of the arts where half of that school is now, I was 100% either gay or a liberal. That's what it is. It's liberal arts. That's where my whole middle school was, the Nutcracker and fucking Julius Caesar, and we got to paint the freaking set for this thing, And so, it's part of my life, but I know the way I come across.
Decades comment.
What's that?
Pin it, please.
Yeah, send Chase a link, witch doctor.
I did.
Oh, okay.
I just did. Yeah.
The Amazonian women would fight for you after they enslave you. Mushroom reminds.
They got to dodge my poison darts first. What's going to happen is, just like with Cirque, I'm Odysseus, and her little tricks ain't going to work. But I was here to stay anyway. Chill, girl. And we lived happily ever after.
And I wasn't even supposed to talk about my drama today. I was trying to bring up the drama of Amanda getting shit on for associating with us.
That was actually the whole reason we came on today. But we didn't want to just have her,
because this is a year ago now. I don't even care about it anymore. But it's
goddamn Marcel intervention.
Yes, that's really what it is.
Yeah. Oh no. Like it's just
sabotaged you, bro. This was all a setup.
It's okay. It's just that, like, I
No, like, and I feel bad, Marcel, because I don't want to cause you stress. That, like, the last time, whenever we went on your channel and talked about things, because I wanted to give you an opportunity to try to clear the air after that stuff happened, when your part of that video was removed because of the stuff you get yourself tangled in, So,
I do it to myself. It's okay, but, like, I'm battling climate change I've been battling climate change deniers for like 72 hours straight now. I am on edge. Like, no, hey, Chase is here.
Hey,
Hey,
hold on.
Howdy.
Man,
yeah, how are you?
hold on one sec. I thought the earbud would be better.
And I will reiterate, I definitely emotionally misspoke a whole bunch today. So I emotionally misspoke. Some of the things I said were emotionally charged and not communicated properly.
Am I? You guys can hear me, okay?
Yes.
It's really good.
So I jumped in like in the last 10 minutes maybe, and then I had to do a meeting, and then anyway, but yeah, all of this stuff. I guess like I don't know if it's controversy, whatever it is, but like I feel like it's like you're either for liberty or you're not. You're not for it, you know. And liberty is like it's a two-way street, you know. We have the rules of like the laws and the order and stuff, but trying to use that to take away someone's ability to express themselves or whatever else is, I think, is like a big deal. So whether we use all these words to describe each other, meathead, trans, like all this other stuff, but those are just words, you know? So I think it just really depends on like, um, us people realizing that we don't get any of this if one thing or one ism or one whatever else takes over. And
Exactly.
to Witch Doctor's point, I think I understand what you're saying, Witch Doctor, like who's going to fight for you. Well, that's what a liberty-based kind of nation is like all
I'm here to
about.
fight for
It's
with
because-
y'all and for y'all.
Well, we need each other. We need the meathead. We need the weirdo, whatever a weirdo is. We need the person who's into science or whatever, like whatever all those descriptors are. We need the people that all live different ways, but they all agree on one thing, and that's like living together in like a liberty-based way. Because there are other people that want to take your resources, that want to get you all confused, and then just top down dominate you and take away your ability to express yourself or your divinity and stuff. And so that's what makes liberty-based like fighting operations and tribes so like dominating if they work. And it's really difficult because you have to constantly maintain it. But like, look at how powerful liberty-based nations and tribes are when they're like that. And it's not just with ancient Greek people, liberty goddesses and everything. But so the reason why, I think that that's accurate is like you need the people who can't fight in that violent way, as well as the people who can, who all agree on this liberty-based thing. And the more we argue with each other, the more we throw each other under the bus because of the smaller differences, and don't focus on the bigger thing that unifies us, the more divided and like the more gross all this becomes, because that's exactly what it's designed to do. And it makes a ton of money, dude. It's so commodifiable to become like, at first it was like to be kind of I guess what people called woke. I don't even know what it means. Then it was like whatever this anti-woke stuff is. It's like you see what like the Harry Potter lady's doing, where it's like she at one point probably had a point about some things that were pretty extreme or felt extreme. If you lived online all the time, you thought that was reality. Felt like the world was really nuts, and maybe in some places it was. And then now she's turned into just like a cartoon version of like, I just say this stuff and I'm shoving it down the wokester's throat and all the other stuff. And she's like a giant billionaire. It's like, I don't know. It's like, clearly it's just, it feels like it feels weird. If that makes sense.
That's why I've never had an acclamation towards politics and identity games, because everything is clearly just designed to separate everyone from liberty.
Let me say something
Yeah.
real fast.
Yeah, let Witch Doctor say something.
So, and I don't have all the details, but I've got a message here from someone that was in our chat. It says, and I'm not going to say the name, but your crappy mod literally put me in timeout on your live that's going on right now and deleted my question, then accused me of hate for asking a question. The question was, what is a TERF? Which the mod deleted. So I'm not sure exactly. I wasn't paying attention.
I
to-
saw somebody's stuff disappear, but I don't know who did that.
That was Mandy. That Mandy did that.
Mandy has been a mod for a while. If you're still there, Mandy, and can jump in and talk about why you did that, for asking a question, then deleting the thing, or was it from an earlier comment? So then once you deleted him, it deleted that question too. But we're not.
Yeah, there was
way
a
up
couple of things. There was a couple comments, and then they disappeared. But
And I just want to real quick, like it's an emotionally charged topic.
Yes.
There's a lot of reasons why that is. One these are all my opinions, by the way. I think it's because things are getting really weird, and I don't care what anybody says. It's getting weird out there, dude. With like the way our nation, looks like it's getting sold off for parts. I don't know what the hell's
Dude,
going on.
I hate what's
But, like,
going on right now.
People are getting freaked out, like, and then you're online all the time, and then you're constantly being sold stuff, and then we don't have any rites of passage, and like people, there's a lot of emotionally charged things, and then there's a lot of scapegoating going on, in my opinion, where like I think trans people are getting scapegoated like a motherfucker, man. It's just I just see it culturally around me more, where it's like it constantly comes up, and anytime someone's like, hey dude, like it's kind of aggressive or weird or whatever, they're like, oh, what are you trying to do, cancel me or suppress me? And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm telling you, you sound like an asshole. Like, what are we talking? Why are you bringing this topic up when it's like not even? I don't know. You don't really sound like you're actually curious, because if someone tries to talk to you about it, you just start saying, well, they're idiots or they're mentally ill or something. So it's like there's that going on, but it's also like, why is this such a like? I have trans friends, and like it's not like it's a small percentage people. Like, why is this all of a sudden there's some kind of crazy, scary, oppressive force of trans people, that we have to be kind of worried about? I feel like it's been like created as a scapegoat, and maybe at one point, like they were like the greedy people would hide behind it, like, hey, we're really pro this or whatever else. Don't look at what we're doing with our money and the people that make our products and stuff. But the other side's coming too, where it's like, hey, we're saving you from the oppression of diversity and trans people. And meanwhile, they're just stripping away workers' rights and like basic stuff that is like what tyrannies do. Like, so you don't have the ability to even stick up for yourself. So I just think that like when you jump into this stuff on either side, if you feel strongly in any direction, to be mindful that it is emotionally charged. And, I don't know, it's like that affects, I guess, how we talk about it and stuff like that. But in terms of like just paying attention to someone's character and how their actions are and where they're coming from, trying to figure that out, because it's not worth it to throw everybody under the bus, because pretty soon you don't have anybody next to you when the real monsters show up, and they're out there, man. I'm dealing with one right now. I'll have to tell a story about later. But the real bad people, dude, they destroy everybody. They don't care who it is. And it's like, you want to know who that monster is when they walk in the room. So, even the people you have disagreements with, you unify under one group and you take them out, because you got a diverse group with diverse thoughts and diverse skill sets.
Exactly.
So
This
anyway.
is what I was trying to say earlier. I just was shit at it.
Well, I'm glad that we all are not surrounded by yes men, because whenever you are, you're surrounded by a bunch of bullshit. So, I think when people are growing up and in high school, you see how, like, let's take the movie Superbad, which is pretty much my friend Trevor and myself's relationship in high school. And usually when people are friends, they'll give each other the shit, because they do care, So I'm glad I feel some of that from all of us, because it's been a minute since people have tried to be real with each other, and I like that,
It's good.
Yeah.
I think in the long
so
run, it's
politically
good.
correct, and it's
Yeah. But yeah, I just hate being told I'm acting in bad faith when I'm not. Bottom line.
well, you've had the chance to,
Yeah. Yeah, now that I've calmed down, that's the ifs, ands, or buts of it. Like, now that I can think clearly, like, fucking stop telling me I'm acting in bad faith when I'm telling you I'm trying to act in good faith.
But just keep acting in good faith and just keep being you. And sometimes you have to take it on the chin a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, no doubt. Like everyone's acts like, oh, it's easy to be a good person. That's not a good person. That's not a good. Whoever's told you that, that's not a good person. Like because it's hard to be a good person. You have to keep learning, keep getting back up.
Sometimes you really don't want to give a shit, and you want to be a dick to everybody, even that old lady at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Like,
no. It was only one person that was telling me I was in bad faith, but then everybody had to, right? Like, not like I misspoke when I like using the word they. It sounds like I'm lumping everyone in there, but it was really one person. Like, so
well,
that's
and they know it loves you to pick on you, so they do it even more because they know that you're gonna have the reaction. Which you can work on, and so that's the very reason why, is that they know that you'll go read and watch everything that they make on you, and you will let it destroy you, and they know that.
Yeah.
Not that, I don't know if that's 100%, but I'm just guessing here, and so they're like, oh yeah, I love giving him shit because he's always, and you see that in the army, you have 30 dudes from different places. There's that one guy that you can always give him some shit. He's like, oh man. And they just kind of laugh while they watch you run around looking for some piece of equipment that doesn't exist or something. They know there's a little bit of that going on too. So
yeah.
But if you choose to not watch it and you choose to not read it, it ultimately doesn't exist.
Exactly. Right.
If you're going to do that, then your personality needs to be the kind of person that can tune everything out. Otherwise, it's going to come back and it's going to constantly bother you. And if it bothers somebody, then they need to not be like that, right? I've known a lot of assholes. They're never going to change, but they're a little better than they were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, why is it hard to just say what you mean and mean what you say? Is it because you're trying to be a comedian? Is it because you're trying to satire?
Who, me?
No, why can it not be? Well, just say what you mean and mean what you say. Like, instead of later on saying, "Oh, it was a joke," or "Oh, I didn't mean it that way," or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Or
people can be scared of hurting other people's feelings, or they can be scared of dealing with the backlash. It's kind of like when a kid does something he knows he's not supposed to, and he knows he's going to get spanked for it, and then or yelled at, or have to do push-ups, whatever parents are doing,
and that's all tied to like our evolutionary past. I mean, if you spoke up in the group, we're talking, I mean, who knows, hundreds of thousands of millions, I don't know how long we've been here. If you spoke out in the group and you fucked up, you were probably excommunicated. So like that status in the group is pretty important. I think that's where the fear of speaking comes from and stuff like that. So it's a skill set, I think, to be in tune with yourself or your virtue and your character, and all that stuff comes through your actions in your life and congruent behavior. Are you pretending to be someone in public that you're not in your private life, and is your unconscious kind of leaking through? So I think like my answer would be to that question is like, we're out of practice. We're in this consumer kind of culture where we're out of practice with being genuine and kind of going after our virtue, because it's just like we got to do what we got to do for money or zero-sum game, or like present ourselves a certain way. Otherwise we won't survive or get that job or get liked or get the girl or the gal or guy or whatever else, you know what I mean? And I think it all goes back to like just being out of tune with our nature and instincts and stuff that are tools, but when you're detached from them and not taught to work with them, then it's like trying to run a marathon all of a sudden when you haven't even been jogging yet, and then someone like rejecting you in a group, it feels awful. It's like, oh shit, like this is the end of the world and like all this other stuff. But the more practice you get, maybe sometimes that's just not the time or the group for you to be in at that time, and then it's just okay that you just know someone's going to be mad at you for a little bit, and then you want to keep doing what you're focused on, your work or direction you're going in.
I was going to say, somebody posted this, decades, Cross Bible is a ballerina. And this is the perfect example of what I was sort of saying a minute ago. He knows. Oh, he knows he's a dancer. his toes have paid the price. My mother, my sister, growing up, I was exposed to a lot. I'm not going to go off about it, but the ballet is extremely hard. At the School of the Arts, they had ballet and dance, and some of the guys would be in ballet or dance. Ballet, and Decades was just kidding, by the way. I was going to say, Steven has been made fun of, I can guarantee you, for being a ballerina dancer, a ballerino. And he has conditioned himself to be able to deal with anyone that ever might have made fun of him growing up for being a dancer. And so that kind of applies a little. It just kind of reminded me of everything that we're talking about today. It's like, yeah, you know, there's stuff he's put out there that people could, you know, make fun of or not agree with. Some guys might think that that's, you know, not cool, you know, or something or whatever. I personally think it's really awesome. It's fucking hard. Freaking dance. It's ballet is no joke. And, you know, you see meatheads like me hiring ballerinas to show us how to do poses and stuff, you know, like in the movie Pumping Iron with Arnold, you know, so I have an appreciation for that for sure. But if you're going to kind of like me, I didn't even tell my friends when I got on with Harlequin Publishing, the romance novel cover, the romance novel company. I was so embarrassed that I was even with Harlequin, you know, and going to Atlanta and doing these events and stuff. And because I wasn't strong enough to take the criticism from my closest friends, because, you know, I'd done bodybuilding shows and stuff, and it seemed to drive us apart something about how I used to be. I was different now. And, you know, I wasn't strong enough to take the heat for being in a career or profession like that, which is why I probably eventually got out of it. It's a lot of negative criticism, and it's a lot of positive criticism you don't want sometimes. People touching you and feeling you up in crowds and shit. You know, people at Walmart putting their hands on you, like women on me. You know, a lot of things that just, you got to be able to take it if you're going to do it. And I need to go be an adult the rest of the day, but I'm going to leave you guys. Marcel, are you able to close out tonight?
Yeah, I can do that.
Well,
All right,
just one more thing, which Doctor, just before you take off, and then yeah, I will need to take off here soon too. I do caregiving, but
we can jump
there
off.
is a you know, the comment about the whole point is like the lying. What is it? The whole point is just not to lie. I have lost it, but that's the thing, you know, that was what I felt the need to reiterate with Marcel in the other video that we did together, is that because of my community being the blunt life, the three things I've always had is, you know, it's hashtag live honest, hashtag support local, hashtag be blunt. So that's the thing. And that, you know, when people, and I don't mean to throw Marcel under the bus, you know, but when I bring people into my community and then they see Marcel is there and they're like, oh, he's been in this and that and the other, and I don't trust it. You know, I'm like, okay, but I know this person as much as I do, you know, from our rapport, like for a year now, right? Because we've been in these communities, we kind of knowing each other little as much as we can virtually or whatever.
Yeah.
But I will not stand for that, you know, and that whole fool me once, shame on me, or you, fool me twice, shame on me, and then fool me 3 times, fuck a peace sign. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I just need to make that clear because of where I am being associated and where I cannot afford to be, you know, assumed to be any kind of nefarious. So that's all.
I think you've always stood up for what you believe in
Yeah.
very well. And I think it shows. So over time, any of the correction, even with anyone else here, I think it'll all be good. And I'm glad we all did this today because it was such a last minute thing. I'm glad you jumped in, Chase. Do y'all want to jump off or do y'all want to stay on a little bit?
We could. I guess we'll just jump off.
Y'all can.
If everyone's good with that.
I gotta keep working.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Well, Chase, anything you want to say before we go?
No, man. Hey, man, keep going. let's keep going. Everybody keep going, keep getting better, and rub up against each other. Be a little friction, maybe a little sparks, but yeah, man, keep going. We gotta keep we gotta get sharpen our teeth, get stronger, take care of each other better. So there'll be some growing pains, and this is just the beginning.
Before I go to Marcel and then I cut us free, I just received my personalized copy of the Towel of Minerva, and I cannot remember the website specifically, the name. If Mandy's here, if you can post it, or Marcel, if you know it, can you post it?
I'll try. Oh man, I don't
On
have it.
Amazon, but I'd rather y'all go and get it from him directly. Now, here's another thing. You can type in Witch Doctor and get a 10% off. However, if you want to support your friends, then you would not type in that discount code so that they get those last couple bucks that it was saving you. And so it's up to you, but there is a code Witch Doctor for 10% off. And I believe Mandy Moorhall, this is his book. I believe he has a link to buy Marcel a sandwich. But I would
that's through code Witch Doctor. If you use Witch Doctor, the 10% goes to me.
got you. Okay.
That's why I'm getting people
So
to use the
I hope
code. 10% goes
that
to me.
having Mandy on and having him kind of big brother us, you know, I think that was good. And as you can see,
Yeah. No, it was good.
all
though, man.
friends
Yeah.
still.
Right.
This is what people do when they're real people, is they figure it out.
Yeah.
Hearts and minds hooked.
And Mandy was harsh in the comments, but when he got on here, he was very calm and he made his points very good. Mandy, I love Mandy a lot. I like talking to him because he lays things out in a way that's easy to understand rather than just being you're a bigot. Like you know.
Have an episode with him soon. So
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
talk more about the material that he studied his whole life. And we will make time for that. And he always is calling
where's his
us
book
at
at?
work, and he doesn't have a lot of time. But guys, it's been about 2:30,
Yep.
2 hours, 30 minutes. Let's go ahead and do it there. Thank you so much, everybody that was here. Raw Path, I want to watch the rag video you do on us, okay? I'm going to watch it this time, I promise.
Yeah.
Email it to me. I'll open the email. I'll watch it. And you can go all out on me. It's anyway. It's okay.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can get you involved. I would love someone to make some funny commercials for me or something, you know, but who knows? I want to talk a little more, but I appreciate it,
Some
guys.
people cannot do last minutes.
Very true. Very true. And some people, you know, they have lives that are really cool, and they have their things. So anyway, I will see you.